So it is, okay, good morning. It is 11:20, early afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it is Wednesday, the 21st of June. We're on the last stretch of June. I have finished 2 books in all of June. But I've also been not feeling the greatest, and sometimes when I don't feel good, I don't want to read. I just scroll endlessly on Instagram or YouTube Reels and just scroll and scroll and scroll or play games. I've been enjoying on my phone 10 Crush. I don't know if they have this game for anything other than like the iOS or Apple. I don't know if it's available out there. I just got mine from the App Store. It's just 10, like the number 10, and then Crush. It's fun. I have thoroughly been loving this game, and yeah, so that's my favorite game right now. It's a strategy game, and I like strategy stuff. That's why I like doing puzzles and puzzle books, Sudoku, word searches, things like that, where you have to think. I like the logic stuff. So I've been enjoying that. As far as reading goes, I have not, since I finished the vlog last night, I think I read 1 chapter. Out of something. I don't even remember. On chapter 22 of the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I'm enjoying it. It's sitting at probably like a 3-star. Yeah, I not much I can say right now. I am enjoying it. Horror, when I don't read a lot of horror, but when I do read horror, it tends to sit at the 3-star mark. I tend to enjoy mystery, thriller, psychological thriller, those things more than straight up horror. So horror, I expect it to be kind of middle, average of the road, sometimes a little bit more, like 3.5, but very rarely. I can't even think of one that I've given a 4-star. Generally it has to be the thriller, again, psychological thriller, psychological horror, and there's not that. I still enjoy them. I enjoyed Dracula by Bram Stoker, which is a classic horror, but for the most part, just a straight up horror, whatever, it just sits at like a 3-star. So I do tend to enjoy the stuff that kind of makes me think more and delve more into the characters' minds. Yeah. Anyway, what else can I tell you? Okay, so No Funny Business. I am still reading this one. I am now on chapter 22. There has not been any spice yet. I expect there will be with the terminology and certain words that have been used thus far, like ass and damn, and I mean, not just those, but I mean, there's other things like the longing of what it would be like to get naked with this person and all of that kind of a thing. So I expect there will be at least one, if not more, spice in there. We're not there yet. And I'm 140 on page 142, and there's 317. Yes, 317 pages. Plenty of time. Sometimes the spice doesn't kick in until the end. But at that point, it's like, why even, you're putting it in just to put it in in my opinion, in a lot of cases, most cases. I'm almost done with Red Parts. This, I don't know what I was thinking. It's an autobiography of a trial, and we're following Maggie Nelson as she's with her mother, and they're going through this trial of this guy that's being tried for the murder of her aunt. So her mother's sister. So we're going through that. There's stuff from the cases. It does get graphic as far as like describing the pictures and like the ligature and the gunshots and things like that. It's like a true crime. Okay. I would have liked to see more from the case and not specifically from someone's perspective of watching the case, and then other instances outside of the trial. But that's my own personal preference. It's still good. I'm still enjoying it. I don't know if I'm going to rate this, but I think I am going to unhaul it. I don't see myself rereading it. But I mean, it's been enjoyable. Suicide is mentioned a lot in this. I can't remember. I've notated it in my notebook if it gets graphic at times. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampire does get explicit with suicide. Okay. It tells you how it's done. I don't remember if this does, or if it's just like so-and-so was committed suicide. They killed themselves. So-and-so was raped, that type of a thing. Anyway, so when I finish this, I'll do obviously an individual review and go more into depth once I have my notes in front of me. Currently working on the main priority right now is Colin Fisher. This is the June selection for Autism Reads. Discord link in the description box. I thought this was going to have more emphasis on like a school shooting, and it does not. So I will tell you this, and I'll explain this more once. I mean, I'm only on page 115 now. The shooting has already happened. It was an accidental shooting, okay? So the reason why I've been saying it involves a school shooting is because of all the turmoil in the world right now with all these school shootings going on that have been going on and stuff like that. So I know it would be very bothersome to people. Turns out it's not like that. What has happened is basically some stupid kid, teenagers do stupid things, everyone does stupid stuff, but in this case it's a teenager makes a stupid decision to bring a gun to school, and this teenager, I don't know who it is yet, this teenager gets into a fight, the gun falls from wherever it was hidden, hits the floor in the cafeteria and goes off. The bullet goes into the ceiling, no one is injured. So it's an accidental firing because the gun landed on the floor. That's the extent of the shooting, okay? At least so far, things could change. I mean, I'm only 114, I'm on page 115. There's 227 pages, but I don't think it's going to get worse than that. So, yeah. There's a lot of bullying in this. So, that's something to definitely be aware of as well. But it's fine. Yeah, there's some things that I don't quite get and I think is very stereotypical that you see in a lot of stuff. One thing I will say, I mean, there's a lot of authors' footnotes. Like, how many have we had so far? 17. So you're reading and then it's like this right here is an author's footnote. And some of the facts have been interesting, but it's kind of happened frequent enough and that it's distracting from the book, in my opinion. Some people like random facts, great, but I don't know, it's just kind of distracting. And so it's taking down the enjoyment just a little bit when it happens. It's become kind of eye-rolling stuff. So, so I'm working today. I started a new arts and crafts project. I have not finished my cross stitch yet, but I've been really wanting to do some diamond painting. So I have some coasters I'm going to be working on. So I've already done a little bit on this one. They are kind of springy, summery. These are sunflowers. So I already have the yellow on here. I have the plastic got back on here because it's still, I don't have any of the other colors on here, but there's that one. And then I'll do that one. And here's one with a gnome. And so just a bunch of just coasters for diamond painting. And do I have two more or one more? Two more. They're stuck. Okay, so there's that one and that one. So, and then after what you do with these kits, it came in a kit, after you got all that on there, I will take, after I put that on there, I mean, they do come with these little cork board things that you peel off one side and then you stick it to the other side. So we'll do that. And then once I've done that, then I'll get like a paper plate, and I have this like kind of epoxy stuff to try and seal it in a little bit more, to make the little drills, which are the little fake diamond stuff, those a bit more secure on the things. So, and then that just takes like 2 hours to dry, but I generally leave it for a whole day just to make sure we're good there. That's really all the updates I have right now. So Let me think. I did film on Sunday. I filmed my July Catwalk TBR. Again, I've only read 2 books and only one was for my June TBR. Now, Colin Fisher is the second one that will be for my June TBR. It's now the 21st. There's 30 days in June. Yeah, I still have like 4 other books, 3 or 4. I haven't even read my Punishment which is an ebook. I have not read that one yet, which is fine. It'll go back in my little jar and I'll read it at some other point in the future. Let's see. And then there's like 2 others, like Circe. I can't even remember what they are now. They're in my room, but I have yet to even read those. But I did film my TBR for July. I went ahead and took a Punishment because I doubt I'll get to it, especially with how I've been feeling this month. So I doubt I'll get to all of the books on my TBR, which is fine. Again, that's fine. Like I've said before, just a reminder, you know, I have, according to Goodreads, I have over 900 unread books. Okay. Those are on bookcases, in nightstands, that's in my closet, on a TBR cart. I have a lot of unread books, and this is why I'm not a mood reader. Sometimes I do get in the mood to read something, and when that mood strikes, then I will read that particular book. But for the most part, I can't be a mood reader because I get so overwhelmed by all of the options. It's not going to stop me from buying books. I absolutely love it. It's a special interest. It makes me very happy. So yeah, that's part of why that is why I do my Catwalk TBR, is to narrow it down from over 900 unread books down to less than 30 unread books. That's a lot more manageable, and it still gives me some wiggle room. If I am in the mind set to mood read, then I can pick from that selection. Otherwise, I just generally go in order on my list of the books that came up in the video. So that's kind of how that happens. It's less overwhelming for me. So yeah, I don't mind it. And so the fact that I would probably have to take a Punishment every month is perfectly fine with me. Okay, perfectly fine. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm a bit lightheaded right now. Let's see. I'm a bit lightheaded right now. Don't know why. My oxygen and heart rate are both fine. So I'm just going to sit here, maybe just take some deep breaths. My oxygen level's at 99, which is really good. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but so yeah, I'm just going to sit here, do some deep breathing, I guess, and wait for some applications to come in because I am working today, and go from there. And then on occasion, I'll work on the diamond painting. I may kind of switch this up, and then once this one is done, switch back to my cross stitch, do a little bit on that, and then come back and then do another coaster. I don't know, I'll work it out, but that's kind of where I'm at with that. So my mom, I was really craving some ice cream. Especially the hotter it gets, the more I want something cold like that, which that's pretty standard, but for a lot of people, I was really wanting some ice cream. And so my mom, bless her heart, and I'll pay her back for this because it's like $5.30 before taxes. So after tax, I think the price went up because after tax it was like over $6, like $6.30 or something like that. And this is a small shake. It's from Arctic Circle. I think Arctic Circle is Utah only. They might be in Idaho. I don't know. Let me check. Google Arctic Circle locations. Utah. Are they in Oregon? Oh no, that's Ogden. Yes, there are a few in Idaho, it looks like. In Soda Springs, Idaho. I wish I could, oh, I can zoom out. Okay, here we go. Let's see, zooming out. There's like, is there one in Washington? Oh, shoot, what'd I do? Okay. There's one in Washington, in Yakima, Washington. So there's one in Washington. There's like two in Oregon along the coast. Woolburn and Newport, Oregon. Oh, looks like there's one in Elko, Nevada. Didn't know that. Looks like there's a few in Arizona, like Colorado City, Arizona, and probably a couple other areas. It's by the grouping in Arizona I'm seeing is up in the corner of Arizona between, like, closer to the Nevada and the Utah border. So right in that little area there. Most of them are in Utah. I don't see any in Wyoming. Let me zoom in. Oh, there are some in Wyoming. Green River, Wyoming, and Diamond Dell, Wyoming. So there's a few, but then that's pretty much it. Most of these, none in California. There's more in Idaho than I thought, now that I've zoomed out, but most of them are in kind of like northern, central to northern Utah, and then into kind of southern area of Idaho, or the southern half of the state. So there are a few. So, but if you don't live where there is an Arctic Circle, it's called Where the Good Stuff Is. They do like taco salads. There's other salads that they do now. I actually used to work at Arctic Circle because there's one pretty close to my house, and they're more known, at least in my area, for their shakes. Better than the McFlurry at McDonald's, in my opinion. The McFlurry at McDonald's, I do believe, is like $2 to $3 cheaper, so it's about double the cost. But the problem I have with McDonald's is, like, if I get the Oreo McFlurry, they'll mix it, but then the bottom half of the McFlurry is just straight up vanilla ice cream. So it doesn't mix all the way through. They mix all the way through. And you have more varieties. You can do Butterfinger, Reese's. This one is strawberry banana. You can do raspberry. You can do all these other ones. You can have them add malt. You can have them do Jamocha. So like this coffee, they're mint chocolate chip or mint whatever you want. So you can combine, you have a lot more options, and it's mixed a heck of a lot better than McDonald's will ever mix their ice cream. And McDonald's is notorious for their ice cream machines breaking, so, or going down. But it's not, I think, like the Blizzard from Dairy Queen is above this, and then it would be Arctic Circle, and then it would be like the McDonald's McFlurry. So that's my opinion. And I'm a little bit more partial because I'm biased, because I worked there for almost 2 years, I want to say. So like I started my junior year of high school and then worked until after high school at Arctic Circle. They do hamburgers, they do chicken sandwiches, there's fish, there's chicken, there's halibut, like a halibut sandwich. You can do halibut, like fish and chips type of a thing, where it's like strips of halibut, or chicken, onion rings, French fries. That stuff's all fine, but no, their shakes are where it's at, in my opinion. So I'm going to enjoy my shake. I'm going to finish editing my July Catwalk TBR video, and then I'll do some other stuff. I started my laundry, so I've got to keep that going. And I still need to transfer from my phone the clips that I filmed for last week's vlog onto this little USB port thingy that I have. So this will be the next video I edit and work on, will be last week's vlog, to get that up. As far as videos I need to film, I do need to film. I have some hauls that I need to film as far as like ebook hauls, like all paranormal romance or all steamy romance, all science fiction, all fantasy, all horror, all, you know, whatever, different genres and stuff. I have a backlog of that stuff to film. Now, when I got all those ebooks, they were all free. The prices do fluctuate and vary, so they might not be free now, but they could be free in the future. I don't know, but anyway, I've got a backlog of that stuff to film. And I still want to film those because a lot of these are authors I've never heard of on YouTube before. So it's definitely a way to introduce new authors and stuff. And you may find one that you go, oh, that book sounds good. And then you found a new author. So anyway, yeah, so I've got plenty to do. But of course, work takes precedence. So I'm going to get back to things. And I just wanted to share that little update. So I don't know, I'm just really excited about a strawberry banana shake. It's been a long time since I've had one, and oh man, it tastes so good. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that and just continue to work away. Okay, so I had to get my hoodie, or a hoodie. My office is in the basement at home here. And so it gets cold in the basement. It gets freaking cold. So I've got the heating pad on, and it makes my back feel really, really good. But then my arms get cold. So anyway, I've got this hoodie on, so that'll help. But I got some book mail, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you. I'll still do a, at the end of June, I'll still do a overall kind of like a book haul, but I'm excited about them. So I had one more. I did cancel my Thrill Club, which was like $15 a month for 2 books. Could be hardback, could be paperback, and stuff like that. So I got that, went ahead and opened it. So I've got the books to tell you about. And then I have one book that I ordered, which is one of the original Fear Street books. So I've got that. Let's start with the Fear Street book. So I finally was able to get at a decent price Into the Dark by R.L. Stine. Now, I got this one from Thrift Books. The cover is cut. You can see there. Yeah, see, look at that. But ultimately, you know what? That's okay. That's fine. Oh, it's cut onto the page behind it too. Someone sliced. Shame on them. Oh well. So, okay, Into the Dark. There's 2 more, and those 2 finally went on the cheapest price that I've seen them. So I did order the next 2, or AKA the last 2 in the original Fear Street world. One from Thrift Books that is on the way, and one from Amazon that's expected to be here between the 28th of June and the 5th of July. So I don't know when that one will come, or if it will get pushed back or something. But by the end of July, I should have the entire original Fear Street series. I'm excited. But there are, then you have the Super Chillers. The next ones I'm going to be working on, there's 2. It's like Into the Dark or something. It's very vampire. I loved those ones when I read them. And then I'll work on like the Super Chillers. And then there's like there's one that's about cheerleaders. It's like the cheerleader saga that takes place in the Fear Street world. So I'll work on getting that series. But the original series will be complete once those last 2 books arrive. So this one, Into the Dark, if I remember right, she is blind. I have read this one. Let's see. It says, Paulette Fox refuses to let her blindness stop. So she is blind. Fox. Did I say Fox or Vox or something? Anyway, Paulette Fox. Let's see. She refuses to let her blindness stop her from living a full life. But one thing she's never done is fall in love, until now. Paulette knows Brad Jones is the only guy for her. Even when her friends see Brad commit a horrible crime, Paulette is sure that he's innocent. Her friends tell her he's out of control, that she will be his next victim. But Paulette knows he would never hurt her. Is Paulette right about Brad, or has her love put her in terrible danger? Or is she like blinded by love? That's the phrase that I hear. So, blind rep, that'll be cool. And I know I've read this before, but it's been a long time, so I don't really remember much. But I remember when I was little, absolutely loving her outfit, especially the skirt. So, yeah. All right, so there's that one. Now, the ones that came in the My Thrill Club, this is the last box that I will have, are these two books. So we have Crime Song. This is a Frank Marr novel. I don't know if this is further on in the series. Let me pull this up on my computer. This is part of a series. It is the Frank Marr series, and this is number 2. Now, the thing with My Thrill Club is they said they will only include books that you can read as like a standalone. However, I am very particular. I like to read things in order. So I will be ordering the first book. But she did say that she thinks that they can be read as standalone, he or she, or they, whoever that's in charge of this. So the first book is called The Second Girl, I believe. Yeah, The Second Girl. So I'll go ahead and read you the synopsis of Crime Song, and then I'm going to order the first book so that I can read them in order and get more of the character development in the first book. So this one says, Frank Marr was a good cop with a bad habit until his addictions to alcohol and cocaine forced him into retirement. Now eking out a living as a private investigator, he agrees to take on a surveillance case as a favor to his beloved Aunt Linda. Frank quickly confirms that his cousin Jeffrey is involved with a small-time drug operation. Then Frank's home is burglarized and a body is left on the kitchen floor. Jeffrey's body, so his cousin's body. Okay, worse, Frank's .38 revolver, the murder weapon, is among the stolen items, along with his cherished music collection. Only Frank's stash of cocaine is left untouched. Why? That is a very good question. With the weight of his family, his reputation, and his own life on his shoulders, Frank must find the culprit by following the stolen goods through a tangled network of petty thieves, desperate addicts, deceiving fences, good cops, bad cops, and one morally compromised taxi driver. He's as determined to uncover the truth as he is to feed his habit, and both could prove deadly. It sounds good. I just want to read the first one before I get to this one. So I'm going to order the first one. Again, that one is called The Second Girl. So I'm going to order that one. And then we'll see once. I'm just dropping stuff all over the place. Okay. Anyway, we'll see when that one arrives. Okay, this next one that came in My Thrill Club is The Choice by Samantha King. So she could only save one. So I'm guessing you can only save one child. So let's see if this is a standalone or part of a series. Standalone. Good. It's a standalone. All right. Okay, so it looks like this one's like a dual timeline because it does say then and now on the back. So I'm not sure how often it's going to flip and all of that fun stuff. So underneath then, it says, Madeline lived for her children. She'd always believed she'd die for them too. But on the morning of her twins' 10th birthday, her love was put to the test when a killer knocked on their door and forced her to make a devastating choice. Which child should live and which should die, her son or her daughter? Well, that makes sense because that's the tagline. She could only save one. Alrighty. Now, it says, Madeline stands silent on the periphery of her fractured family, trying desperately to unravel why her world was so suddenly blown apart. But while everyday life continues around her, memories of everything leading up to that tragic day return in astonishing flashes. And that's when she realizes her family's life still hangs terrifyingly in the balance. That sounds good. Something no parent or no good parent or sane parent, whatever adjective you want to insert there, would want to make. Because I'm sure there are some not so good parents who would more than willing say, I'd be happy to choose a child, you know, and that's just wrong. But yeah, oh man, I can't imagine a parent being put in that predicament, let alone the child being put in the predicament to be like, why wasn't I good enough to be saved? What made my brother or my sister so special or whatever? Anyway, sounds good. I'm glad that one's a standalone. So I'm going to order the first book by David Swinson in this. So again, The Second Girl, I'll order that one. I'll order the paperback. But yeah, so there's a little mini book haul for you there. I'm going to clean up what all I knocked off of my desk. And I have my July Catwalk TBR video edited. I'm in the process of exporting it. I've got it saved just to be on the safe side. Exporting it, it's 77.5% through the exportation process. And then I will start the upload process for that one. So, and then once that's uploaded, there's nothing I need to film right now. Depends on when I finish any of the books I'm going to read. And then I need to do a review. No, I need to still have to transfer from my phone to this little USB thingy, the clips for last week's vlog. So still need to do that, but I'll wait until I've got the Catwalk video uploaded, and all that fun stuff. So okay, so I wanted to give you a little bit of an update because I finally logged a number. I am trying to lose weight because I want to be healthier. There are certain health risks, like heart disease, that runs in my family, on both sides of my family. I had a grandparent who had double bypass. I had one that had like a triple bypass, one that has a pacemaker. And yeah, so heart disease runs in my family. Being overweight does not help. That increases my chance of heart disease. Plus, as I'm getting older, I'm going to be 40 in December. That's also going to increase my risk because the older you get, the higher the risk you are or chance you have of having a heart attack or stroke or something. And I don't want to die young. Although with the way the state of the world is, it'd be it's a morbid topic, but it's like part of me would be like relieved not to have to deal with the crap in the world, but I don't want to die young. I just still want to live. I love living life when I can, even though I get overstimulated with my autism and stuff. I still want to live life. I still want to, there are so many things I still want to try and experience, and places I want to travel and go see. The political unrest and everything just makes it so I'm kind of putting that stuff off for a little bit until things hopefully calm down. But, there's things I would like to do. Anyway, The other thing that does not help with my risk of heart disease and stuff is that I have a very sedentary job. I work 10-hour shifts. I work 40 hours a week, so 4 10-hour shifts. It's a desk job. I am sitting. So today, I have made the conscious effort to stand up every single hour. Not necessarily on the hour, but within about an hour, and do something. So instead of like every day I take care of Ophelia. So instead of standing up once and then going and scooping her litter box and feeding her and refreshing her water, I stood up once and went and fed her. Stood up the next hour, went and scooped her litter box. And then I went and refreshed her water the third hour. Things like that. So I'm trying to move just a little bit more. My left knee hurts and the pain is getting worse and more frequent. Now I know that the cartilage in that knee has detached from the bone. I don't know how much cartilage I have left, but I also know as you get older, you're heading for knee replacements and hip replacements and all of this stuff. And I know that being overweight and having surgery, the anesthesia can be harder on your body, or you're at a higher risk of not waking up. And that's kind of a little anxiousness. I wouldn't say it's a real fear. If it happens, it happens, but I still get a little nervous at the thought of that. And I've had plenty of surgeries and haven't had an issue, but I'm also getting older. And so the chances of having an issue are increasing. So I really want to get my health in order. And I've wanted to for years, like ever since high school. And I have tried Weight Watchers. I actually, trigger warning, but I starved myself. I tried making myself throw up. I've tried diet pills and all this stuff, and I could never get it to stick. Finally, I realized it took a psychologist saying, because it took a doctor saying you have binge eating disorder. So I had an eating disorder, and it took working through that. And then it took getting off of certain medications because certain doctors weren't listening, or I was having a hard time conveying what was really going on. So they were only trying to work with what I was giving them and trying to fill in the blanks. And they were wrong with those certain filling in the blanks. So I ended up on a lethal dose of a lot of medication. Some of the side effects were weight gain and all of that. So I was probably in my mid-20s when I stopped weighing, when the scale at home read 300 pounds, but the scale at the doctor's office, and with looking back at pictures, I know I hit at least 350 pounds. I've lost that. Okay. I've lost quite a fair amount of weight. I still have a ways to go. And the thing with me and my autism, and this isn't just exclusive to people that are autistic, and some people that are on the autism spectrum don't have this. Me personally, I don't recognize when I'm full, and I don't recognize when I'm hungry unless it goes to an extreme. Like I'm so hungry, I am shaky, I'm irritable, I'm lightheaded, my blood sugar's going low, I gotta eat, or I'm gonna pass out. Or I'm full to the point that I typically compare it to how a lot of people talk about how they eat so much on Thanksgiving or major holidays. Thanksgiving Day full is what I call it. So those are the two extremes that I do recognize. Anything in between, I don't. So I have had to relearn things. And part of it, what I do that helps me is I watch the clock. I keep an eye on the time. So for example, if I wake up at 8, I'll try and have breakfast between 9 and 10. I'm generally not ready to eat right away, because if I do try to eat right away, I start to get nauseous. Don't know why, but I do. And so that's just something that I have to deal with. And yet I can go all day. There's been times where I've had surgery scheduled at 3 o'clock, can't eat anything starting at 11 o'clock the night before. And I'm perfectly fine going all day without eating. So there's that. And so I watch and say, oh, it's about 1 o'clock. I probably should get a little something to eat. Or it's 1:30. I didn't realize it was as late as it was. I should get something to eat. So I'm trying to keep a closer eye on the clock to be more regular with eating. The other thing that has helped me is I don't keep a bunch of snacks around me anymore. So I don't just pick and graze. There are certain things I do like I love sunflower seeds, although I had an anaphylactic reaction to sunflower seeds this past week. Um, go figure that. But I did, but I'll still have sunflower seeds. And because I've had reactions to stuff, then I've had them later on after that and I've been fine. So like sunflower seeds I can keep around me and that's fine. But I don't keep candy around me, which I've never really been one much for candy, but it's always been a convenience thing. So I've had too much of that. So I don't keep that stuff right in my immediate vicinity. Like I actually have to get up and go and get it. And I have to decide if I really do want said thing. There's one like chocolate I absolutely love, and that's LNDO. It's these chocolate balls. Absolutely love those. I love the milk chocolate. They do like a strawberries and cream in February around Valentine's Day. So I'll get myself one little bag, and then I'll only let myself have one, maybe two of those every 2 or 3 days. So I really try to make them last. So I really savor those. So that has helped, allowing myself to have that treat. But again, like I said, I have a very sedentary job, and with the way my body is and it hurts and the reactions that I have had, I am very leery to be much more active. I would like to get more active, but like I've had the broken bone in my foot. I now have a cyst in my other foot. My knee hurts. And it's like, how much of that is because I'm getting older? And how much of that is because I'm overweight and it's taking a toll on my body and I'm starting to feel it? And how much of it is something else? You know, like it's just something that I've dealt with all my life. For example, asthma. I've had asthma all of my life, but did I ever tell anyone that I had trouble breathing when I would try to run in gym class? No. So what would I do? I would try and speed walk, or when I would see that the teacher was looking at us, then I would like sprint, but then I would be like trying not to hack up a lung. I'd just be coughing so bad and having trouble breathing. But I would never say I'm having trouble breathing because I didn't want any attention and I didn't want to be a burden or anything. So I kept my mouth shut. Should have said I'm struggling with this, because then I probably could have had a better quality of life. So anyway, so as of January, I am down 30 pounds since January as of Sunday. Now I have lost whatever was over the 300 pounds. So I'm down a total of like at least 80 pounds, at the very least 80 pounds. And that's a big deal. Don't worry about doing the math or anything. You don't need to know how much I weigh, but I'm just telling you, I've lost at least 80 pounds. So I've lost the 50, maintained having that 50 off for years, and I'm finally down another 30 pounds. So, but part of me is going, is it too late to start to feel better with that loss? I don't know, but I certainly don't want to delay it anymore. So I am trying, and I am happy, and I will continue to try to get to a healthier weight for myself. So yeah, I'm trying to think. My mind was like, thoughts were bouncing all over. So yeah, so for me, that's a big milestone. And I will just keep trying. One thing I do know that I struggle with too is how people drink water first thing in the morning baffles me. I cannot. I will gag. It makes me nauseous. Yeah, I tend to be more, like physically, I tend to be sick in the morning, and that gets better. And as the sickness gets better, the pain in my body increases. Go figure that. As it increases by the end of the day, because I've been using my body and I'm moving, and so I am going to have a little bit more wear and tear or whatever, and pain and stuff. So I don't know. So it's like I generally feel better by the end of the night as far as not feeling sick, nauseous and all of that, but like my knee pain and hips and back pain and all that is always worse at the end of the night. I don't know. My body is weird. That's just what I've come to accept. My body is just freaking weird. So yeah, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not perfect. I still allow myself some treats and stuff. I prefer the salty stuff and I like the carbs. But So I like the French fries and the potato chips. And I would much rather have that over, I love ice cream, but sometimes I'm really craving the sweet, but I would still rather have French fries and potato chips over a bowl of ice cream or a candy bar or something like that. So, and it's definitely the stuff I crave is stuff that's very easy to overindulge on. So, you know, having 3 servings of chips versus 1 serving of chip or something. But so I did see a therapist, working through things. The binge eating disorder is a lot better. I still have days where I binge, but the frequency is much less and the severity is much less as well. It's something I'm probably always going to have to struggle with. It is very much a reactive thing as well, because I do know too that when I get frustrated and upset at myself for anything, I would binge. My binging was also, they also said it was a form of self-harm, because I also would overeat as a form of punishment. Like, I am not worthy of love. I'm not worthy to be pretty like all these other girls. I'm not worthy to fit in this cute clothing or all of this other stuff. And so to punish myself, it's like I have to keep myself fat. And so I would overeat and all of that. So it has helped. I just can't reiterate it enough. It has helped to find someone that I connect with at a certain level to talk to about how I deal with things and try to find different ways to cope. So to rectify certain negative things that I've had with food and things like that. So still a struggle. I still struggle. I still sometimes think I'm too stupid and not pretty and worthless and a piece of shit and all of that. And so I still struggle with that, but it's not as constant as it was, which is such a relief. But I do still struggle. Okay, so all of that's aside, I'm just very happy that I've hit, since January, a 30-pound loss. So I'm happy. Okay, I am watching right now. I'm gonna have some dinner. And I'm watching, the channel is Amy Noel Reads, and I forgot if her name is, if she goes by Amy or Noel. Let me go to her. It just says my bookish spot on the internet. I think it's Amy. Anyway, she's doing this really cool vlog where she's reading a bunch of horror books in this vlog, and they're all water. And she's talked about how she has this fear of like drowning in the ocean or being stranded on the ocean. And I'm like, girl, I feel you there. I actually found out it's called, like, cause she also mentioned like a fear of not being able to see her feet in a big body of water. And I found out that it's called thalassophobia, that I have. And so, but I love the sound of the music. The ocean is amazing. All these creatures and unexplored areas and depths and all of that, but it is freaking terrifying. Will I ever go on a cruise? As much as part of me wants to say, yeah, a bigger part of me says, hell no, I will not. Cruises sound fun, but being in the middle of the ocean, what if it's like a Titanic thing where you hit an iceberg, and yeah, technology is a lot different nowadays, but, or if there's a leak on the boat and you start to sink and no, thank you. I don't think I'll ever do a cruise. That would be a big conquering of fear moment. So, and I don't like the thought of, with the ocean too, it's like you have all these jellyfish, you have all the sharks and all these other poisonous fish and sea spiders and sea snakes and all of this stuff. But if you can't see, you don't know what you're going to step on, like an urchin and all of this other stuff, and you get really sick, and I don't want to do that. So I also can't stand it when I can't see. I am much more willing to stand at the edge of the body of water. Like, I even hate lakes, okay? But I'm much more willing to stand at the body of a water, like a stream or a river or something, if I can see the bottom and see what's around my feet. If I can't, it's a no. I will not. I love watching horror movies that take place in and around water. So like Jaws, love it. There was this other one that had, I'm blanking on the name, but she went and dove with the fishes, and then the cables of the shark cage snapped, and so she plummeted with this other person. And it was Mandy Moore was one of the characters. Love that movie. But I can't, I will not ever be in their place. So for me, that's like a great horror setting. And I mentioned earlier that generally I give horrors about 3 stars, and I started to think about that. I give Junjun Ito like 4 to 5 stars, generally 4 stars. And he does horror, but they're short horror stories. And I think I just haven't found the exact horror stuff that I love. Although I did read, and she mentioned it in this video, was Rolling in the Deep by Mira Grant. Or is it Shannon McGuire? I don't know. Mira Grant's a pen name for Shannon McGuire. I think it's Mira Grant that it's under. And it's a novella that takes place at sea. It follows this crew, and it involves like mermaids, and people die and go missing and all of that. And so she mentioned that, and she said that she loved that novella. I also loved that novella. That novella was so good. And she's right, it is a horror novella, and I don't remember what I gave it, 4 or 5 stars again. So I think it's just finding the right type of horror that I like. So like the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires is sitting at about like a 3 star. But yeah, I loved the novella about these killer mermaids. And I also really enjoyed this sci-fi horror also written by Mira Grant, which was the Feedback series. Loved that series. So I think it's just finding the right type of horrors that I like. And so watching her water horror summer reading vlog, I'm going to link the video on her channel in the description box. But watching this, I'm just going, I want to read more horror and thriller that takes place at and around water. Because I love it when books take place on like the coast of the sea or stuff like that. They don't necessarily have to go out to sea or anything, but I do like that. But I think I will enjoy horror more if it's water horror. So it takes place on and in the water. That's my thinking. So anyway, I am just thoroughly enjoying this vlog. So I'm gonna eat my dinner, and I am going to finish watching her vlog and get back to work then. So I hope you guys are doing well so far and enjoying this, what is today, Wednesday. Oh, another good thing I wanted to share. So today was payday, and I paid off my student loan. My student loan is now paid in full. Oh my gosh, I am so happy. I have not been debt-free. I'm still not debt-free. I still have to pay off my visa. So I still have debt, but like car, and I had a student loan for my associate's degree before, and now for the bachelor's degree. But I don't have a student loan anymore, and it feels so good. And to pay it off before any interest is a really good feeling. And now I just have to pay off my visa, which I do get interest on. But once that's paid off, then I won't have any debt, and that'll feel so good. And I look forward to that day. Anyway, so 2 exciting things: 30-pound weight loss since January, and now my student loan is paid in full. It's a good day today. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well, and I will just check in at a later point. Good afternoon, guys. Today is the 22nd, Thursday. It is 1:09. Okay, so I just filmed my wrap up or my book review for Red Parts by Maggie Nelson. Spoiler, I'm going to unhaul that book. I don't think I'm going to reread it, and I'm not going to give it a star rating. I feel very weird giving that a star rating. Such a dark book. It was dark book. It was very interesting. I would give it like a 4-star based on interest and stuff like that. But enjoyment and rating someone's experience like that. You know, I used to think I had to rate every single book that I read, and I've finally learned you don't have to rate a book. You can just do a 0 rating if it's something that's difficult to rate. So, and this is one of those cases where I feel weird giving it a star rating. So I'm not going to rate it. Yeah. So the Red Parts. And we're just going to move on. Now, my next nonfiction I'm going to be picking up is Souvenirs from Paradise by Erin Langner. This is a collection of essays. I think part of me wants to say I've never read a collection of essays. However, I think Chicken Soup for the Soul, or the whole Chicken Soup franchise, Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul, the Nurse's Soul, the Pet Lover's Soul, I personally would classify that as essays. So definitely let me know if you agree or not, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I may actually like essays from various people where it's their own life experience. And instead of getting this whole book, you're getting just a couple of pages. So I'm going to be starting that today. My first read of the day will be Colin Fisher. I would love to finish this today, but I don't know if I'm going to. But we'll see how that goes. I am working today. I'm just on a very quick break, so I wanted to give you an update, and that's pretty much the update. Don't expect any more updates today because we're short-staffed, and like right now, it is just me because the other person's going to lunch. So it's just me on the phones and on the computer. So I am going to end this update there. I hope you guys are having some good reads, and I probably won't update you until tomorrow. In fact, let's just not plan on it. I'm not going to try to pressure myself or anything. And we're just going to leave it at that. That's just what happens when you are short-staffed, and we are just short-staffed today. So anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll update you at some point in the future. I got cold. I had to get my jacket. And it was specifically my hands that were cold. Man, I mean, they're feeling better. They're still just a little chilly, but they're doing better. Okay. I do want to give you an update. I finally finished editing my Cozy Mystery book haul. So these are all ebooks, and these are all ones that I got for free on Amazon. All Cozy Mysteries. So I got that edited. I filmed that like yesterday. Got it edited today. So now I'm exporting it, which that is going to take a bit. Right now, I'm only 8.6% of the way through the exportation process. And this is just shy of 55 minutes. It's about 53 or 54 minutes. Generally, these have between 26 to 32 books, because I generally film it when I have a full page, and I've got a lot to film still. But I just film these whenever I can. And so it's not like I'm in any rush to get these out or anything like that. So that's exporting. And then once that's done exporting, I'll start the upload process to get that scheduled to go up live on YouTube. I am pretty proud of myself. I am so sick of, it's getting hotter, and I don't want long hair right now. I hate having long hair in the summer just because it gets so freaking hot. I need a haircut, but I hate going to hair salons. Hair salons tend to be a nightmare, at least for me because of my autism, because you have the sound of the blow dryers, the sound of the talking, the smell of any chemicals. I do like the smell of the shampoo and conditioner. Those generally smell nice, but the chemicals, I tolerate those. They're not the worst chemicals, but they're definitely not pleasant. And I would like to color my hair. I've done it before. I've gone more brunette and I've done highlights, but I've thought about going blonde because I feel like my hair has just gotten darker, and especially now that I'm getting gray hairs, I thought, why not color? But I did not schedule a coloring thing. This is my first time going to this salon. The person that's done my hair for years, ever since I was a little girl, she's now retired. So I can't obviously go to her anymore. So, and she was is a family friend, but she's retired. So now I need to find someone new. So that's been stressing me out. And like, I've wanted to cry. I've been so stressed and anxious knowing I really should get my hair cut because I hate the feel of it on my neck. I mean, I like putting it up in ponytails and stuff, but come summer, once it starts to get really hot, I can't stand it. I'll let it grow the rest of the year. It still can bother me at times to have it around my neck, but it's not so bad when it's in a ponytail or like a braid. But to have it just down, I can't. So it'll be in a braid, a ponytail, or up in a hair clip. So I've got it like pulled up right now in a scrunchie. So I have been wanting to get it cut. So I finally scheduled it with someone, and I asked, because I just can't take it anymore. I said, what can you do to help someone that's autistic? And so they said, well, we can schedule you for when it's quieter, when it's one of their less busy times. So in a couple of weeks on a Tuesday, I'm going at like noon to get my hair done in July. So still a couple of weeks. I've got to wait until I get paid so that I can pull money out. I mean, I could pull money out, but I'd rather just wait until I get paid because I didn't budget it out of this check. So I'm going to get my hair cut, and I will ask about coloring. I don't know what styles look good with my face, with it being more of a plus size face, and stuff like that. So I will try to talk to the stylist, and I asked, do I have to be facing the mirror? They said, oh, absolutely not. So she's going to put a note that I don't want to face the mirror, which I am very grateful for. I hate looking in the mirrors. Even at home, I hate looking in the mirrors. I will if there's like a little spot I need to focus on, you know. But other than that, I hate looking in the mirrors. I'm so used to it being in the bathroom that it doesn't bother me because I generally don't glance up and look at myself in the mirror. I hate it. I've always hated it. Made worse by trying to play Bloody Mary with some cousins when I was a preteen to an early teen. But even then, it's always made me so uncomfortable. I hate it. So I said I don't like to face the mirror, and I said small talk is hard for me. So if the stylist wants to talk, they're going to have to generally initiate the conversation. She said, oh, that's not a problem. So she'll put in notes that that's hard for me, and stuff like that. So fingers crossed this goes well. I have tried going to places like Great Clips and things like that, but I've never liked how they've done my hair. So I'm trying a new place. It's not Great Clips. That's not something like I walk into Walmart and where they've had hair salons in there. So yeah, I mean, I'm anxious and I'll be nervous at times until that happens. For me, the hair salon and the dentist are awful. Plus, it's always bright in there. But I can wear my sunglasses, so that will help. But like with the dentist, it's fine. I don't like the poking and the prodding inside my mouth. But it's worse when I hear someone in like the little booth over or whatever getting the drills. That's like nails on a chalkboard. hate it. Hi guys, a little bit of an update in the car. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. I am starting to get lightheaded and dizzy, so I think I'm just gonna take it easy the rest of the day. I have some filming I need to do. I have a wrap up for the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires that I need to do. I did one for, I already filmed the wrap up for No Funny Business by Amanda Axel. I enjoyed that one. So I'm going to start Love More Books or something like that. So another library book. I'm going to start my punishment read for June, although we only have a couple of days left, but I still want an ebook, so I'll read that. Still working on Circe. I'm exactly 100 pages in, so the next chapter starts on page 101. And the nonfiction that I'm reading is a collection of short stories of people that are in Vegas or visit Vegas, all dealing with, it seems like it is parental death, but it's all like the mother and involving cancer, or at least most of them involve cancer. So anyway, yeah, I have an appointment tomorrow morning with an allergist to see what he says about all my weird allergic reactions. And like right now I have something at the back of my throat, like a sore or a hive. I don't know which. It feels similar to when I have mango. So, and it's always just that one. Anyway, so I don't have mango because I'm allergic and I didn't have any mango. My mom wanted frozen yogurt, so we came and got some frozen yogurt. And then she wanted to wander around Barnes & Noble. I got 4 books. There's no way I can leave Barnes & Noble without buying any books. I bought 4. They're all romance. So yeah, so that's my update. I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I'm going to get home and I'm going to crash. I'm just not feeling the greatest. So, but what else is new? So, and I want to try to have my energy to film the review and a couple of wrap-ups. So that's it for now. Hope you guys are doing well. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.